Yeah, CFM's live to the stream.
Test, 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 test. Can you hear me going to the stream?
Yeah, we're going to find out. Tell you what, we're going to find out.
Ooh, I can hear some things. And we have two people watching.
Okay.
Cool.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Awesome sauce.
Custom. Where's the CFM? Off. Off. On. Glorious. There's music. Why did we not hear it in this meet? I'm muted. Let's kind of smash it out again. Wow. Try a different look. Kind of music. Our old standby, you know. Little royalty-free, chill hop.
Did something get updated with the CFMs?
I don't know.
I am back, and Mr. Wesley has same exact stuff that we used.
Okay.
And it worked for him on his computer, but alas, it's not working on the UTLD. Did you try a different computer, maybe?
Well, let's try this. Let's go with a different display profile.
Weird. My audio just didn't work for you guys. So if you said anything back, I didn't hear it.
Just gonna page through some of these profiles and see what happens. See if anything changes for the better. Seems like it so far. Wonder if I can trick it to Did that do anything? Let's try this. Go to the other end of the spectrum. Oh no, that ain't right.
Yeah, it's going a little hint of yellow there.
Yeah. Hmm.
Is it
Well, it's just a rehearsal. We can tell them that that it's something that we need to work on to get the whites to match.
And
I still need to store these for all the other looks as well.
Right.
She is with, my mind just went blank. She's with the client. Wow. Why can't I remember her name? Stephanie. She's with Stephanie.
Okay.
Oh, she left already?
Yeah.
Okay.
She might have thought she was in the wrong place.
Unless there's something weird with Google Meet where this isn't true black or something.
Possible. It could be like a...
This is like a Google
like a
gray.
weird gray. Yeah, exactly. Like a form of gray. So it's only able to do that. So I got to crop a little bit to the left. And
is there any more DVE goodness that you can apply to this in the switcher?
maybe. Let me see what I can do. Like if I can like change the saturation or anything like that in the
I don't know,
the DVE itself.
The brightness, the the tint.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
see here, yeah.
I mean, this thing is like getting it perfect is going to be really, really hard.
Yeah. Let's see. Next.
Oh yeah, it's starting to get nasty.
Mask, aspect, crop.
Hi, Stephanie. And you're on mute.
I am. There we go. Hi, Heather. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good.
And we have the full team here setting up for you.
Awesome.
You may remember working with Jet, and of course, Octavio.
Hey, Stephanie, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Octavio.
And Benny and Robbie are helping out too.
Cool. Nice to meet y'all. And
Nice to meet you as well.
Sorry. Saranya should be joining here in just a second because I definitely want her on this call.
She hopped on a minute ago and she might have thought she was in the wrong place. She hopped back off.
Okay.
Hi. Hi there.
I initially joined this call, but I thought I joined some other call.
That's what we said. You probably thought you were in the wrong place.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
I did too at first because I don't recognize any of these names because it shows it showed like Robbie's name and I'm like, I don't know these people. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm gonna push it and see what happens.
Well, thank you for joining. Saranya, I was introducing briefly. We have Jet will be producing the event. And we have Octavio, Benny, and Robbie who are operating as well.
Hello.
Hi.
And then Brandon is here from the ESO Connect side. We do have that test YouTube link is going right now if you would like to see what that looks like at any point.
Okay.
Let me just send that over in our chat too. And Stephanie and Saranya, did you see those YouTube links come through, the one that you're going to want to send your attendees on Friday?
Yes, and I just wanted to verify that. Actually, that's earlier today, Saranya and I had a call to kind of think about what we wanted to make sure we asked you all about. And the main things are to make sure we have all of the links, that we're all on the same page. The link that I have... sorry.
Yeah, and the one I just sent over is for today only for the testing.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Sorry, I have another sheet. Lots of sheets going on here with all of our tracking. for the event, and I just added it, and like, where did it go? I'm like, just before I got on this call, I was messing with it. Here we go. I put it into our main, the tracker. So the one that ends in EKUS that's the one that is the here. Let me just I believe this is the one that we're supposed to be sharing publicly. And that's what we wanted to verify, because we will be sending out our confirmation emails to everybody today, just to give them a heads up.
That is the correct one. Yes.
Cool. It looked right when I clicked on the link, because it says, we'll go live in 3 days or whatever. And so I was like, this appears to be the correct thing, but let's just be 100% sure. All right, cool. And then, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you probably saw, but I had sent over on Friday, like I saved the holding slide as a JPEG, but didn't even realize when I saved it from the slide deck, it was very low resolution. So I grabbed a higher resolution screenshot of it, and that's what's on this.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. One of the other things, just to make sure that I'm clear on, and for Saranya as well, is that we have the invitation that's for presenters only link, right? Which is a Google Meet room. And that's where we're telling all of the Lightning Talk folks to go into that room, about 7:15. We're going to test people, or y'all will test people's sound and audio, or audio and video, and make sure that all looks good. And then they, in theory, will turn that off, go to the live stream, watch the live stream as we do the intro and we do our presentation. I do my presentation, the Q&A, and then they come back to the Meet when they get to the Lightning Talks to give their talk. Is that correct?
They can actually hang out in that Meet.
They can. Okay.
And that's the invite that you sent me, and it says GSoC Mentor Summit presenters only. That's the correct Meet ID. So they can log on at 7:15, do the tech check with us, and then just turn off their mic and camera. And hang out there, just as long as their mic is muted. They're welcome to watch the live stream feed if they want, but they just need to be made aware that there's that 30-second delay.
Is there a way where we can actually mute their mics instead of them muting?
We can mute if they start talking and we don't want them talking. We can mute, but we cannot unmute them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when you get to the point where they're doing, so they will actually, they'll be doing their Lightning Talk straight from there, right? And that's where, and that Meet room is the same room that Chris and I will be in, like giving our presentations. Okay. So that's the link that we will all use for everything, and including, because if I remember correctly, so obviously we're trying to get the testing done before 8 o'clock, right? Before this all starts. But isn't there, well, I guess like you said, they're muted or whatever, but it's kind of like there's like a side channel or something going on. So they're somehow y'all separated out. Is that right? Is that how that works? Where like I'm talking, but somebody else could come in and y'all could be testing their sound, because I'm already giving a presentation in that Meet. Is that right?
If you wanted that, we would need to set up like a separate green room, completely separate Meet ID where presenters go, check in, and then ushered over. Currently, a green room is not set up, but if you want to do it that way, we can. We would have to check with Morgan to see if someone from her team could manage that green room.
Okay, because that's how we did it for the Student Summit. I think that's why I was like, that's what I was expecting. But we also don't have as much back and forth this time, so maybe we don't need it. But I guess I just want to make sure that in all our communications that we're sending out, that we're clear to everybody. If y'all basically, if y'all can't log on before 8 o'clock, not your SOL, but it's kind of like they can't do anything because they're going to be interrupted. They're going to be, we're going to be talking. We being between 8 o'clock and 9:30, it's going to be nonstop talking between Chris or me, right? So we're going to be talking. So they'll be muted, or they should be muted. But like basically, we want to make sure they're not coming in. Like don't come into this chat at 8 o'clock after 8 o'clock.
Exactly. That's what we want to prevent. If there is anyone who can't make it earlier, then we probably would need to get that separate green room set up where they can check in first there and be ushered over. Do you know if anyone can't make it to that early check-in?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we told them to come, but that doesn't mean that they will, per se. So yeah, well, I guess in our communications today, we'll try to make that clear. And like, if you can't come, you're going to need to let us know because we have to set up an entire different system. Basically make them feel guilty that if you can't come, it's going to be a pain in the butt for us. So yeah, that's what I will maybe not so make it pretty clear. But okay, I mean, I saw a lot of people already RSVP to it anyway, but then a few of them haven't. I don't know that anybody said, did anybody say no on that invite, Saranya? Do you have it open? Let's see if anybody said no. One said maybe. He said maybe. Oh, it's Morgan. Okay. So, all right. So we just have 4 people who haven't RSVP, but everybody else said yes. Okay. So, yeah, we're probably going to be fine with that. But we'll just make sure that we make that clear. It's Ron, are you taking notes on this as we're talking?
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, Morgan.
Hey, Morgan.
Morgan, we were talking about if a green room should be set up for the lightning talk externals or not. The plan was to have everyone join the main presenter meet an hour ahead of time, check in with us, and then turn off their camera and mics. But Stephanie was seeing if there's anyone who can't make it early because it would interrupt things with being external, trying to join during the event.
100%. Okay. So now
basically everybody's external. So it's all 14 or 16 people actually. Well, 14, I guess. Okay. The other question I had about links, since we're talking about links right now, before we get on the other stuff, do we have assigned links for the 2 breakout sessions yet? Do I need to do that, or?
Morgan, you're muted if you're.
Hold on.
Okay.
2 breakout sessions.
Yes, we have the lightning talks. Then we have 2 breakout sessions going on simultaneously. So we've got Saranya, who's going to moderate one of them. So she'll be letting people in the room. And we have Kat, who's another Googler, moderating. So those 2 are going on simultaneously. So we need 2 separate rooms, and then people will just join them. There's no presentation. That's just it's just a conversations that are happening in those 2 breakout sessions.
And we're having people like opt in because they're different topics.
Correct. Yeah.
I think honestly, you guys can create 2 calendar invites. And so there's nothing additional needed for that.
Okay, so I should just create calendar invites.
Yeah. So basically,
and that's just to share those with people.
And just share the meet link to the users.
Yeah, so that would be, Stephanie would just make 2 calendar invites just from that time. So from 10:35 to 11:15. And then what we could do is like in the chat. Well, no, we're doing YouTube live stream and Google Meet. Well, we could do it in both.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way we had it last time, we have like a slide up in our slide presentation that says these are the links, right? So, and that we just wanted to know, we just weren't sure what the links were. So if it's just something I need to create, that's not a problem. I can do that. And so I can do that today. And then that way I can also share those links with the people who are going to be leading those kind of sessions. I had one of them ask me about that earlier. Okay, cool. No problem. I just wasn't sure about that one.
No,
so
100%.
Okay.
100%. Since it's just like you guys and it's not EP involved, I feel like let's just have you make those 2. You can add the moderators directly to those. Anyone else that needs to be involved. And then, yeah, it's definitely something we can have up on a slide. If you guys have the chat feature in YouTube up, we can drop it there too.
Okay.
So people can just click it directly.
Yeah, I think that's what we did last time. Saranya for Ramina did it. Put in the links. We're like, okay, you know, as we were wrapping up. In theory, this time would be wrapping up the lightning talk.
So
like, okay, and here's the breakout session. And you kind of have the title and like, this is the link to go to this breakout session, and then return, and then and the link to go to this breakout session is this, right? And then we'll see you there in the next few minutes. It'll start promptly at 10:35. PT. So, okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Just want to make sure I've got that clear in my head, because again, this is a little different than what we did at the Student Summit. But this is probably how we did it from the Mentor Summit last year, but Romina did all that, so I saw her do it. She told me what I needed to do. So this time I understand inner workings. I'm like, okay.
Oh, no, totally. And yeah, anytime that it's like opt-in, we don't want to use like the Google Meet breakout feature, because then people can't like pick and choose. We always just create 2 different calendar invites and just give people the links.
Okay.
Like instead of having
And Stephanie, we had that one of the slides had the animation thing, so we wanted to check on that.
Yeah. So the only thing, we have all of our slides from everybody. We have one that the formatting is just wonky, so I just emailed the guy again today to try to be like, hey, this is really coming up weird. We're trying to put into Google Slides. I don't know why, but it is. So we're trying to get that fixed. Otherwise, I've got everything, legally, I'm going to self-certify it once I get that guy's stuff. Then I can self-certify it. It's all good. But we have one slide in our deck. Do you have access to the deck, Heather and Morgan?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see if our team can find the slide you're looking for too.
Yeah, it's slide number 71.
Yeah.
And it's not audio or video, it's a GIF, but because there is some animation, I was like, well, let me just make sure this is not going to be a thing. I mean, it's a GIF, and if it doesn't move, it's not a big deal, right? Like, it's like, if it doesn't show up, that's fine. It won't. I just don't want to break something on your end or make it wonky. So I wanted to ask y'all, and if we need them to fix it, the venture to fix it, we can.
Sure. Let me check with my team real quick.
Yeah. Sure. That
Jet,
was the only one that was questionable.
Jet, did you catch that? Yeah, if we can pull up the slide.
They're fine. The only challenge that we have with them is if there's a lot of them, if people get a little GIF happy, then the deck tends to bog down a little bit on the load time, and maybe not play quite as smoothly. But just 1 or 2 GIFs here that's not a big deal at all.
And it's actually the very last one. It's the last person presenting the last slide.
Last slide, yeah.
The lightning talks, yeah. So, yeah.
Should be totally fine.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool.
There was one slide where I think people's contact info collided with some other slide element. For it.
You probably are looking at the one that's the Linux Foundation one. That's slide.
Yeah, it's 50.
50. Yeah, all of them. So 40. That's the one I've asked the guy about. So slides 45 to 50.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Because we're like, it looks funky. Like, that's not what it looks like on showing up on ours. Is not what it looks like when he sent it to us. Even though it was sent, it looks like it was sent through Google Slides, which is what's weird. But anyway, yeah. So I asked him if he could. There's a weird background. That blue background on his deal is a very tiny line, and it just is. It's almost like a shade, but it's showing up this way on when we try to import it. So I was asking him if he could remove that. So that should get edited hopefully by end of today, first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, all right. So. It looks like it might be an aspect ratio thing. Wondering if he had more square slides and these are more widescreen.
Gotcha.
Could be something like that.
Because that's just that one right there. Obviously, that light bulb's distorted too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's a very dwarfed light bulb.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, so his is the one I sent him an email a few hours ago. So hopefully he will. I think he's in India, so the timing might be weird. So it might not be till the middle of tonight before he responds to me. But by tomorrow morning, we should have it fixed. So
okay, fine.
Or all of those fixed for him. And then, like I said, no more. That's the last as far as any more incoming slides. Okay. I put in my slides yesterday. Okay. So yeah, we should be good.
Our just so you know, our captions are a work in progress. I think we got sort of Big Sur when we updated some of our production computers, and we're having trouble making our whites match. So the captions are there, but it's just for now. It's proof of concept. And we'll work on making the white temperatures the same so that it just looks like a straight overlay.
Got it. Okay.
And are we able, Stephanie, to walk through your run of show and talk through the looks, make sure we have everything set up on our end properly?
So we just
Sure,
to
let's do
verify the theory, like, so what if we
All
just
right.
define
Sorry.
And if we need to make any notes in this run of show, are we okay to do that?
like just inside your
Yes.
text,
Yes.
and then
You're talking about my the event tracker.
Yes, on the
Yeah.
agenda
that's also
tab.
define.
Got it. Perfect. So actually we can also add in here, let me add, so Saranya and I will actually be on by 7. So we'll be in here at 7 to check all of our stuff with y'all. So let me just add that in there. Okay. So Saranya will be on to check audio.
Yeah, just to make sure, like, at least whatever.
And sorry, is whoever that is, could they mute? I'm not sure who that is. Sorry, it's distracting. He's distracting me. Okay. So, all right. So we'll get everybody logged in, and then Chris DeBona, our director, I'm also going to ask him to log in by about 7:30, 7:45, just so we can check his stuff. But I figure we'll kind of get through most of the other Lightning Talk people, and then he can come in. So 7:35-ish, whatever. And he does a lot of these, so he's usually pretty quick. Although last time I think we did have to adjust his lighting a little bit. But yeah, then promptly about 8:01, the plan is to start the slide deck. I think we're going to do it this time, Heather. We had kind of talked about. I know last time Romina was kind of queuing y'all up to say, "Hey, next slide, next slide." I think this time, part of what I did is also I didn't have a whole bunch of slides. Wanted to keep it easier, so there's not the next a million times, and also just to make our life and your life easier. So we're gonna be looking at the same slides for like 10 minutes on some of these during my 30-minute presentation, but that's okay. That's why I put nice, pretty pictures in there, photos that I took. So I was like, all right, everybody can enjoy the chocolate feet photo, which sounds very random, but it's actually not. And so they will appreciate that. We did a Mentor Summit 2 years ago in Munich, and we have a chocolate room every year. So when we have 300 plus people come, everyone brings chocolate from all around the world. And we have a room, and there's everything from chocolate. There was chocolate fish. That was the one that, I love chocolate. They had me try the chocolate fish, and that was like in 2016 or something, and it was terrible. It was from like Norway or something. It was awful. But anyway, we had these little stickers. So they're chocolate. They look like candy bars in the shape of feet that we had on the ground when we did our summit in Munich to direct them, basically walking into the chocolate room. So the people are like, "Where's the chocolate room?" It's pretty obvious. Follow the chocolate feet. And they're like, "What?" And then you're going, right there, and they're like, "Oh, okay." So I had some of those extra stickers. I'm like, okay, a lot of these people who are going to be in this virtual summit were at that event, so they will probably recognize it and kind of get the joke. But anyway, so I'll start. We've got those. We got a few kind of stats things that'll be showing in that first from 8 o'clock to 8:10. That's just me kind of saying, "Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here." And then I'll just briefly kind of go through those slides 1 through, let's see.
And so when you start your welcome, are you going to be the 70-30 with the slides, or are you going to be a one box? You'll be the 70-30, right?
Yeah, I think most of the time we should do 70-30. The exception, like Chris, it doesn't have any slides. So when we get to his part, which is around 8:10-ish, and his part and my part will kind of bleed into each other a little bit. So I'm not sure he's straight at 8:10. You never know. Chris can finish in 10 minutes. He can be 5 minutes. He can be 15 minutes. So whatever Chris ends up doing. But I think for him, he's just going to be talking. So it could just be probably just his face. You could, I guess you could do a 70-30. But normally when you do a 70-30, you have the big slide, and then you have the person down as the 30, right? Yeah, like that. Okay. He probably would be perfectly happy not being the giant screen, so that's probably fine. I think that's probably the easiest. If that's the easiest for y'all, that's totally cool with me. I think it's fine. I definitely don't want to be the big part on the screen. I'm fine with the 30 versus being the 70. They have to hear enough of my voice for like an hour and a half that, they they don't need to be like staring at me either in full screen. But yeah, so I think 70-30. And then when we get to the lightning talks, I'd probably keep it the same. So I think most of this should probably be 70. Actually, maybe all of it, for as far as y'all are concerned, would be 70-30. Because the lightning talks, there are 2 people out of the 13 that don't have any slides. Everybody else has at least one, and it has anywhere from 1 to 3 slides. So the 2 people that don't have slides, we just kind of have their name and their org name. So it could still be they're towards the end. Walter Bender is one of them. For example, slide number. Whoops, lost it. Yeah, so like slide 66. So yeah, or that one works too. Okay. Yeah. So we could have him talking and then have that there. It might look a little off, but I mean, it's for three minutes. So it's not, I mean, not off, but not that exciting, but it's fine. I think it would be kind of weird to then suddenly make him full screen when everybody else is just partial. So I think it's fine to keep it 70-30.
Okay. Yeah. As long as there's a slide there.
Yeah. We made sure everyone's got an intro slide. So there's something. It's not just going to be a blank or like, missing.
And that was another question I had. For this, we have the 3-minute timer that we will have up for each person. But we don't have lower thirds as far as names, correct? Do you have their names built into the slide deck?
Yes, we have the name. They basically, the names are like this, right? So it's the very first slide, and then their slides start if they gave us slides, right? So then it's, whatever graphic it might be. Or sometimes it's the names of their students. They're talking about the project the student did. That's what most of them are, actually. So I think that's probably fine. I think we did thirds last time, but because these are lightning talks, I don't know that I don't think we need to do the thirds. That would be a little trickier too. So I think it's fine.
Yeah.
This is their intro. And then we're going to give them the order of the speakers. That's the other part that'll go out in our email today with all the links and stuff so that they know, okay, assume each talk's about 3 minutes. And you talk about the timer. So we're going to have that timer up, which actually, do we have a visual of what that would look like? I mean, I guess it's in the meet room for the person so the person can see it, but I guess that's probably only visual. That's only obvious in the meet, right? For them to be able to see it. Do
you see that when you hover over the doors, you'll see the timer above the box where the person's talking?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Pin the doors just for a second. That reflects what our program feed is going to be. And you'll see what the timer is.
Okay.
And that will go to the live stream as well.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. And then, so that's just kind of a cue for them. We're not going to cut them directly off because we have some built-in time there. So we're not going to cut them off at 3 minutes if they're going over. Mm-hmm. But if they're like at, if we're getting closer to 3:45, 4 minutes, then we're going to cut them off. And I'm going to make sure that's clear in the email as well. But that might be something that Saranya or I kind of have to be watching and be like, okay, like maybe have to speak up or be like, okay, next. Or like, okay.
Yeah. The last thing I did think of this, and sorry, production, I didn't think of this until just now. Like, there might be a way for us to use another machine where we can just put a participant in the meet that's only the timer. I have a couple of ideas of how to do that. I don't want to promise that, but it'll just make the timer really easy for them to see in the Google Meet, as opposed to, oh, I have to pin the doors, and now I'm watching myself talk, and I'm mirror imaged, and it's disorienting. And it's off. So. Yeah.
Right, because it's off by 30 seconds, right?
Well, no, it won't be off by 30 seconds.
Oh. The live stream, when you're watching it, there's a delay to YouTube, but in here, everything's live.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty live. I mean, the doors will be about a quarter second behind.
Oh, okay.
But that's about it.
So if I'm talking, like, okay, I'm giving my presentation, I'm talking, and then I'm also saying next so that the next slide happens, right? So the next slide goes on, and I can see this timer. I mean, I think this is fine. I think that's pretty obvious. Like, I mean, I can't miss that. So I'm like, if they're missing that, we've got other problems.
Right.
So no, I don't think you need to do anything else. I think that's totally fine.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea, Stephanie. Though, if you're ready to jump in to wrap them up, they go way on, unless I was joking. I was like, I could come on and go, time's up.
Well, so the funny thing about that is actually when we have these in person, we actually have a what is it we use? What do we use, Rania? One year we had like a bullhorn, but it was a gong. That's what it is. We have a gong, a giant gong that we bought for a different event, but it's the same kind of, anyway, they do lightning talks for that event too. So it's like, okay, you kind of let people go, like, okay, they're 3 minutes, and you kind of go, okay, 3 minutes, 15 seconds. And then it's clear the person's going to keep going. And they're like, okay, now shut up, basically. Right. And most people don't get gong. Like, you kind of try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but then there's some people that will go on for 20 minutes if you give them the, chance. So, we can be in there, one of us, to just make sure we're watching it. So like together, I mean, I'm going to try to step away for a few minutes during this, not step away, but like just connect myself after giving the presentation and doing all the Q&A for that hour and a half before. It can be a little stressful. So I'm going to try to like make myself a hot chocolate, but Saranya or I will be on there to make sure that
they don't exceed 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Or we can do 3,
5. Like, I mean, again, we built in time, so we have 13 speakers, and I think we have 50 to 55 minutes. Okay. So the plan is to try to do a little bit. Oh, this is actually something that maybe we need to talk about. So we finished with this last person, this TARDIS person or whatever. They go through that last slide that has the GIF. Mm-hmm. And then I can come on and be like, thank you so much, speakers. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to open it up for questions. Any questions, please be sure to post your questions in the YouTube live stream chat. And please indicate who you're asking the question of, right? So if you're asking it of, a Veek or Dhruv or Walter, mm-hmm. and then we'll do that again, probably only 10 minutes. I think 10 minutes is enough because I don't think there's that many questions, but there probably will be some. So that's kind of the plan. And then I can read out the question and then the person can respond. But because this is a Meet, that's all doable, right? Like that's not a big deal because we're all just still in the same channel. Is that?
I'm sorry, what was that one more time?
So it would be, she's just going to ask random questions and it's going to be one of the random lightning talk speakers. So it'd probably be a 2-box with Stephanie on there. And then I don't know if the other box chat, if you want to do spotlight or if you guys are going to just pin people really quickly.
I don't think we could do spotlight because then Stephanie would double up when she talks. Which line is this for the closing Q&A?
No, this is actually part of the lightning talks. It's a Q&A after the last speaker goes. Then it's kind of open for about 10-ish minutes, more or less, for anybody having questions of any of those previous 13 speakers. Again, I don't expect there to be many, but there might be 5 or 6 questions. And so I can read off the question to be like, okay, Walter, blah, 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 blah. And then Walter would talk. But we don't necessarily have to show that person speaking. If we want to just have, something, maybe not that, but whatever. We maybe want to have a holding slide that we can kind of plug in here like the Meet, we could have,
could we just do a one box that's spotlighted, Jet? So then like Stephanie comes up, she asks the question, and then when somebody answers, they take over the box?
Yeah. Yep. We do that all the time.
Yeah. So you won't be able to see the side-to-side view, but I think for not knowing who's going to come up and speak, that might be our best option.
That's perfect. Okay. That's great. Cool. So it'll be me or whatever. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can that line? Oh, you have it on here. Line 12. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should probably we'll alter this timing because this is probably gonna be like 10:20, the one above it, and this will be like 10. Again, this is an estimate more or less, depending because some people's lightning talks might be 2 minutes, right? So, and then also depending on how good they are at transitioning from one person to the next. Last year they did a great job of it, but I don't know. You never know. Usually they're pretty good because a lot of these people have given talks like this at other events for us. But when you throw virtual into it, it kind of sometimes can throw people off a bit. But yeah, so there you go. That should be about right. And then once we wrap, then I'll come in and say, great, thank you, everybody. Now we've got just a 5-minute break. You can, for you to kind of gather yourselves, go get some coffee or hot chocolate, and then go ahead and join into the breakout sessions. And then we'll have the slides that show the 2 links for the 2 different topics. We have a slide in the deck for that somewhere, I hope. Don't we?
Do you have a slide number?
Yeah, there it is. Slide 3073. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And we'll add those meet links once I create those today. Yeah, perfect. And then
is the YouTube page like unlisted? So only people that like have the link can find it?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking the other thing, like if you're gonna paste in the chat, I think you could maybe also link it in the description so that it's like there all the time on the YouTube page. And then it'd be like less of like an action item that like you have to do at that moment. You could just say, you know, for those watching on the YouTube live stream, scroll down to the description and there's the links for the 2 breakouts. That's just a side thought. You can also just throw it in the chat, but
yeah, that could work. And then also in theory, everyone that's finding this link, they've either received the email from us or they're looking at our Mentor Summit page where we've got the links. We've got all of these links on there too. So hopefully they have multiple places, but yeah, you're right. Like other than just adding it into the YouTube chat as we get closer to that point. Yeah, maybe, let's see.
We can just add it to the YouTube description, you mean to say?
Yeah, but we have to have
okay, but
to do that. But yeah.
Either way works. It was just like something you could do beforehand. So it's one less thing that you have to do during the event was like my thought. But if it's too much of a headache to change the description, then putting in the chat also is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I'm looking at what we have, the YouTube, the live, whatever, live but not live site, the unlisted site right now. I mean, I guess we could just add it like, you know, new paragraph under where right now it says the GSoC Mentor Summit is virtual summit, blah, 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 virtual unconference, open to participation for mentors and org admins. And then to join the meetup sessions or whatever, we could add just a couple sentences there with the links to the meets. Yeah, we could do that. Then it's like you said, then it's there as well. So it's in multiple places and they really shouldn't have a problem finding it somewhere in all of the different spots. So
if you want to update the description, you can just do it in the gems with the ESO Connect, and they'll be able to update that there.
Okay,
yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because that helpful.
Yes. Cool. Okay. And then
Stephanie, I had a question about my LDAP. Like if I don't get my LDAP access by Friday, like before the event, I have my GPJ account. So can that be like a moderator account?
I don't know. I mean that.
Like just to Heather or Morgan, if you can help me.
Well, no.
That.
Well, for the meet, it's just Google Meet through.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a normal Google meeting is essentially what it is, right? Because it's not being shown on the YouTube channel, right? So that's what Morgan was saying. I can just create any 2 meets, two meetings through Google Meet for
the breakout sessions. Okay.
So
and just have to let her into that other one though, which you could do like really.
Yeah.
As far as like having moderator access on the YouTube channel, I would assume it's something you can do. I don't know if it's a thing that Google doesn't want you to do since it's a Google branded channel. That part I can't answer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want to say the wrong thing with that one.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, and I mean, honestly, on the YouTube chat channel, Saranya, even if you're not a moderator, because I don't think any of us are really moderators, like it's just there's chat going on in there, right?
Yeah.
We did have moderators in the past designated to deleting any inappropriate questions or flagging things.
Yeah, and that's why, and like Romina would then add in, although technically anybody can add in a link, right? So that can be you just saying, hey, reminder, these are the links for the 2 breakout sessions, and then be sure to come back and, for the closing session at whatever, 1500 UTC, whatever it is. But, you don't have to have moderator access to be able to put that into the chat.
Okay.
Moderator access, yeah, I think Morgan's point is probably valid that it's probably has to be a Googler.
Okay.
A Google account, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully your LDAP, you've got the computer now. Hopefully the LDAP will actually just get activated in the next day or 2.
Yeah. Okay.
As you all know, that's always fun dealing with that. If not, then I guess I will do it. Yay. Okay. Cool. And then so once we get through these, let me just look at the slides in order. Okay, so then we do the Q&A. Then we go into these breakout sessions, and then we come back promptly at 18:15 UTC, which is 11:15 a.m. PT. And sorry, I know the timing's all wonky. It's like, okay, because so many of our people are international, we usually use UTC. So I have to keep doing the transition in my head going, okay, wait, what is PT? But anyway, we'll come back, and then we'll basically I'll just basically spend the next 15 minutes saying thank yous, and then possibly having it open for any more Q&A or comments, which Saranya will be grabbing those and putting them into a doc for me, which is also what she's doing at the beginning for Chris and I during our Q&A. She'll be grabbing the questions and the comments, and then putting them onto a spreadsheet or a doc that Chris and I will be looking at, and then we'll repeat the question. We'll say the question out loud, and then we'll answer it. Right? That's kind of how we did it for Student Summit and Mentor Summit last year. And the one thing that should be good is hopefully this time we don't have a million people asking about T-shirts. I'm sure you remember that last time, Heather.
Yep.
Yeah, we will still have some. Trust me, we will, because I've received multiple emails about that. But it will not be to the extent of what it was with the students, where my team members had to actually just start moderating people, and deleting, not moderating, but deleting their comments about the T-shirt situation.
Is there a backup if Saranya's LDAP doesn't work for moderating and deleting comments? Is there someone else on your team who could help?
Not really. Everybody's out of office on Friday. I will see if I can get somebody else I know that's a Googler to see if they would be willing to do it. Again, because the timing is wonky. Like, one of my friends is in Europe, and he normally helps out the Mentor Summit, but I'm like, okay, it's like Friday night. Like, that's kind of, I'm like, yeah, it might be a little bit much to ask. But I can also see if maybe Kat might be up for it, since she's going to be moderating the other session. I suspect if she's around, I'm sure will be happy to help.
Her name sounds familiar. I think she might have helped with moderating some in the past, maybe.
Yeah, she did. She's been doing this program or been involved in the program even longer than I have. And she's on a different team technically now, but she still always helps us out and cares about the program a lot. So yeah, I'll ping her separately and say, hey, can you be our backup? Are you available around this time in case we need you? Which we'll know. I mean, Saranya doesn't have her access and it's not working the day before. So on Thursday, we'll just kind of go into the next plan of, okay, we'll just assume she's not going to have it. And we'll go with Kat, or I have a couple other people that if I ask them, they'll do it. They'll do it they'll do it as a favor to me. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's fine. So, but yeah. The Friday morning, getting people to do things on Friday morning. Better than Friday afternoon or evening, I guess. But yeah, I am hopeful Saranya will have that.
Yes. I think today I sent an email to the team, so they have actually asked me to do some a video recording and photo ID verification and stuff. So I think by tomorrow I'll be getting my LDAP access.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll make sure we have that backup plan, Heather, because there's no way I can do it during.
Yeah, I was going to say you'll be tied up.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to get. I'm not too worried about having to moderate this group versus the students, but you never know. I mean, again, there could always be one person who just gets the link who's some random weirdo, right? that's not actually part of our program, right? They got the code from somebody else and it's a thing, right? It's not likely, but you kind of have to just in case, be ready for that.
Okay. That's it. I had one question about the moderating thing. So, for example, like I have my LDAP access, I'll log in with that. And then how do I actually delete some of the questions? Like, because I'll be in the in the Meet session, right? So I'll have this chat window open. So how do I actually delete questions, or how does that work?
You would need to also have the live stream YouTube window open, and when you make a chat in there, ESO Connect should be able to make you a moderator when you chat in it. And Brandon, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but they should be able. So if you're joining early, you could message in the chat, "Good morning, everyone," and then we update you. They upgrade you to moderator.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's just as easy as like right-clicking the question and deleting it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But we can practice that. Morning up too.
We could maybe even practice it now. Maybe. Oh wait, but you don't have your LDAP.
I don't have my LDAP.
Yeah, never mind.
I mean, we could do it for me, and I can see it, and then we could all see it, right? Like, I actually haven't done it either. I always have other people do it. So, so I could, let's see, link on this top one, right? This top one in your chat. That's the one that's for today, I think.
Yes, the one with ends.
Rehearsal.
We could maybe even practice it now. Yep, there we go. I hear me.